clicked
right?
the button.
Oh boy!
I don't believe you.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Well, see, that doesn't actually work here because we could just go to YouTube.
There's a
see.
screenshot. Okay, we're live.
Hi. How are you today?
Really bad.
Oh my god.
No, I'm
That's
just
not
kidding.
allowed.
You're not allowed. Go away.
Your face isn't allowed.
Oh my god.
I feel like no one's wrong here. That's the feeling I'm getting right now, that you're both right. And you shouldn't fight about it.
Hey, Squee, where's my experience?
Now someone feels wrong. I'd love to give it to you, but I don't know where Lucas is.
Squee, I still haven't gotten my experience. This is session 49. I haven't gotten my experience since 44. So you owe me a bit.
Oh, shit.
Gotta,
I think that's for everybody,
Gotta give him that
actually.
back pay.
Yeah.
So,
Although
we can
didn't
ignore this
everyone-
for now.
yeah, we can ignore this for now. Although
Oh yeah,
it's
I don't
been
think
a while
anyone's
for
close
Rifts
to
too.
leveling up. So,
Mhm.
but I definitely do need to get it done soon
Yeah.
because I don't want it to get so far that like everyone's leveled up and I'm still like, what experience? What?
Oh wait.
Well, you're lucky with me because I only have one session of back pay to give. So
Back
True.
pay. It's true.
Oh boy! All right. So, give me a second. Let me get to the chat source. Does anyone have any questions before we get started?
Inferno, you said that he's not going to be here for a little bit, right?
Yeah. I was gonna let the people know once we started like the session. But yes,
Squee?
Inferno will be here soon-ish. What's up?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
3.65.
That is
according
not
to
the
Hank
answer.
Excuse me, according to Hank the cow dog, who answered the riddle correctly when it was posed to him while trying to save his ranch. My good man.
Hold on. That was not the answer you gave me last time.
What did I give you last time?
If I recall correctly, it was 2.5.
Well, whatever number I said now and then is the correct one.
So they're both correct.
Yes.
How?
Math. Burn. Math.
Piph, you are the
Schrodinger's
resident
answer.
Schrodinger's answer.
When
That's
0.9 is exactly equal to 1, anything can happen.
Thank
You know, that's
Thanks for having my back.
you got me there.
This is why I didn't like math in high school, and I still don't like math now.
All right. So any serious questions before we get started?
Am I gonna have to
nope.
fucking kill more people while I run away? Please
I don't
don't.
know.
We
I
have
don't
to
know.
find out. You
I
ready to
guess
start
that's all
this?
based on your hand and the die. How lucky are you feeling?
Not very lucky.
all right. So let's go ahead and get started.
I haven't had the best week.
When last we left the session, first of all, Inferno will be joining us in a little while. He should be here, and he's going to just kind of integrate into the session organically. But when last we left the session, Kid and Cyber, and surprisingly Lucas, went into Splagorth territory on Center looking for an AAG. While Xavier and well, I would say Isaac were helping them over the radio, but Isaac was really more crashed out on the table,
He was taking a power
Yeah.
nap.
taking a power nap on the table. However, it became clear that their transmission was tracked by someone, and a bounty hunter was dispatched to find out what happened to the signal. Managed to convince Isaac to reveal his face and caused a problem there, which Xavier and Isaac solved by convincing the bounty hunter that Xavier was working on his side and was going to lay a trap for Isaac, and turning the tables on. Surprise, surprise, the trap was for him. And Isaac ended up surprise shooting him in the head in the middle of a courtyard of the space station, surrounded by lots of people. Cut to the Splagorth area. Kid and Cyber 6 managed to find an AAG using Hart's device. However, while trying to barter for the item or stall for time while Cyber 6 could verify that it was an item, the store owner began mercilessly beating a slave, which Kid, I will give Kid credit, tried to show some restraint, but eventually kind of broke, and a fight ensued where two Broadkills engaged them in combat. And when we ended the session, one of them had its head blown off by a very pissed off Cyber 6 who had his favorite sombrero and poncho torn in two. And the other one had Kid hanging from his mangled hand and gave up.
You bit his hand.
I did. He was very rude.
I
That
just
was
love
great.
this idea that this little 4-foot kid is literally just like hanging from his hand like a Looney Tune character. But that is where we ended the session. So we're going to pick up right where we left off. And I think if Lucas and Allura are okay, I'm going to start over with Isaac real fast.
Go for it.
Because
You don't
when
know
trying
where I
to
am,
determine...
Squee.
I'm sorry, what,
You
Lucas?
don't know where I am, Squee. I could be there.
It's true. But you're totally not there because you've been haunting Cyber 6.
Yes, it's true.
Which, by the way, probably the best one-liner of the game so far. Tell him he's going to be broadkill or roadkill. So, when trying to decide what the consequences for shooting said bounty hunter in the middle of a space station, which I don't get me wrong, not being judgmental at all, it was a smart move given the circumstances. I decided to make a table and leave fate up to the dice. So, Isaac, if you would please roll me a D100.
37.
Okay.
God, he's chuckling. No.
We'll see what
Your
this
foundant
goes.
is never good when he starts chuckling.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Never.
not the worst thing that could happen.
I literally, a friend of mine has a T-shirt that says, "When your DM starts chuckling, you know your fate is sealed."
Uh-oh, what happened to, Hey, hang on, I'm gonna have to close my window real quick. I went to, unmaximize my window, and, it, like, went up so far on my screen, I couldn't... It was weird.
Good job.
There's no top to
I
this window.
succeeded, I think. So, okay, let me get back to Roll20 real quick. All right, I will go ahead and start. So, Isaac, so you shot me, which was actually his name,
Yeah,
in
me.
the head. He took about 4 steps and then collapsed.
Yes. It was very
Surprising.
reminiscent of that tombstone part. With Doc
Correct.
Holliday.
Johnny Ringo after being shot in the head by Doc Holliday.
Yeah. Except
And
Isaac wasn't.
The speed was similar too, except you psychically called it to your hand instead of being Quick Draw McGraw.
Yeah.
Which still makes you Quick Draw McGraw, I guess.
Yeah.
Surprisingly for you, maybe not for Xavier because he's a little more experienced in the world, but we wouldn't know. But surprisingly for you, for shooting a man in the head in the middle of a courtyard surrounded by at least 30 some odd people, the reaction is surprisingly mellow. A lot of people turn their heads at the sound of the gunfire in a shocked, surprising loud sound. But no one starts running or screaming or pointing fingers. In fact, you're beginning to think that your action isn't going to draw much attention at all. When after a second or two, you hear from behind you, about sounds like 20 feet away or so. Coffee down, guns up, rookie. It's time to go to work. Hands up where I can see them, and turn around slowly.
Isaac will drop the pistol, turn around, and look at whoever is talking to him.
You see two people of a species that you've never really seen before. One of them looks bigger and probably male-shaped, given that his companion is of the same species but looks smaller and definitely has a more feminine, curvy shape. They are both wearing uniforms that you have not seen on the station, but they look very security-like. They are wearing black button-downs and black slacks, and they have a bandolier over one shoulder with a golden badge on it. And they both have drawn laser pistols and are pointing them at you. And they don't look... And Isaac, you know enough by now. They don't look like mega-damaged laser pistols. They look more like laser pistols designed to not burn holes holes in the hole. And the bigger one has in his hand... he has his hand kind of like looped around the badge on his bandolier. And when you turn around, he says, "I hope you have insurance, pal, because you just ran into the law."
I'm sorry, what?
You see the other smaller one behind him literally roll her eyes. And he says, "I said, I hope you have insurance, pal, because you just ran into the law."
Okay.
You shot that man. I saw it. And that kind of villainy is not going to stand on my space station. Galactic Cruise Lines Transport Security head. And I got you.
Can you give me your title once more, please?
Damn you. Galactic Cruise Line Security head.
Wasn't there a transport in there? Isaac's really just fucking with him.
You hear from behind him, "Captain, should we maybe, arrest them?" "Yes, rookie. I was just gonna do that. Put your hands out in front of you. We're gonna go have a chat."
Okay. What do you want me to do with the pistol?
Hang on. Give me a second. "Leave it just like you're leaving your hopes for freedom on the ground." You see, like, the rookie behind him roll her eyes again.
That's... You know what? Here. Rookie. Catch. And he's going to psychically telekinesis the pistol over to the rookie's feet.
She will look down at it and pick it up quickly, and when she definitely looks like she's nervous. With the rare exceptions of when she's rolling her eyes, she doesn't look nervous at all. But when she addresses you and Xavier, who will say for the time being is following your lead, and with that, when she picks it up, the chief says, "Come take a walk with me. We're going to talk in our office, the security office."
Okay. He's gonna hold his hands out. Don't you think you need to do something first?
"Right. Rookie, clean up that mess." And, like, he nods over to the dead me, and the rookie's face just becomes one of, like, utter confusion.
That's...
"Captain, shouldn't that be like a crime scene?" And there's like this brief pause. And sorry, hang on. He says, "It's only a crime scene till I arrive on the scene." And like it's clear that this being that is now arresting you, apprehending you, he says these so quickly and so smoothly that it's hard to tell that if this is practiced or just the way he speaks.
Or if he's rehearsing lines from a movie.
Or that. And
Okay.
With that, the
All right. I mean, you guys can go ahead and get rid of that. I mean, he was trying to kill me, but sure.
Captain, I think regulation states that we need to set up a crime scene and secure the suspects and question them.
Yes, that would be regulations, wouldn't it? Wouldn't any lawman
He looks at you and he
apprehend
says,
the people and arrest them with, restraints? Wink, wink.
He looks at you and he says, "You think I am the type of person to follow advice from a criminal? But yes, rookie, we should probably restrain them." And the rookie starts pulling out these handcuffs. Do you resist?
No. These are the worst police I've ever seen. These are mall cops.
Well, they did say security force. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut over back to Alora, Cyber 6, and maybe Lucas's ghost. And if that's okay, Burns.
Lucas's ghost. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the scene we're at, one of the Broadkill is still alive, but he is surrendered. He is haunched down, and he is cradling his hand. That is literally missing like a 3-inch chunk out of the back of it. And so I'm actually going to kind of open up the floor to you guys. What do you want to do for the next few seconds? You have a few seconds before I have interactions of some kind.
Is the was it a goblin?
Oh, yes, the goblin.
Are they alive?
So you look at them, and at first you don't recognize it because it doesn't look anything like it did when it was serving Fame and being whipped by Fame. What you see instead of a very ugly, atrocious-looking goblin, you see a very clear, gelatinous, almost looks like a small jellyfish with eyes. You can tell it very clearly it has eyes, but the eyes are closed. And it has a little mouth, but the mouth is currently open slightly and in very shallow breathing. It's very clear that it's unconscious, but it has lacerations all over its form, and it's leaking a clear substance.
Well, that threw me for a loop. Kid is going to sort of like kneel down and like sort of like try and scoop whatever is coming out back in. Just like, nope, you're supposed to stay, I think.
It's very small amounts for given it. I mean, well, given its size, it's a substantial amount. But for you, it's not hard to kind of stop the flow. When you feel it, it doesn't feel like blood so much as a viscous-like substance, like somewhat watery jello, if that makes sense to you. And when you touch it, it makes a small little noise and rolls like kind of deeper into a clear ball. And it's the strangest thing. For a second, it looks like it tries to. It looks like it's almost going to take the shape of the ugly little goblin again, like it attempted to, and then failed, and then reverts back into that little form. While this is happening, Cyber 6 is walks over to his sombrero and poncho, which is lying in basically two pieces on the floor, and he just picks up the sombrero and sighs and says, "Well, I really liked that hat."
Lucas nods in silence.
And nobody sees it.
Nobody sees it. At this time, you start to hear outside, "Fame, you okay? We heard gunshots."
Shit. Kids just kind of like doesn't know what to do. Like how small a ball is this thing curled
Very
up
small.
into?
It can. This ball is much smaller than the shape of the goblin. It can fit in. For you, you'd have to cup your hands together to hold it, but say someone like human size could probably hold it in one hand. And it's not very heavy at all. It's maybe 5 pounds, 6 pounds.
Are there any cups or bottles I could throw it in?
Oh, you're like in a junk store. You could probably find something.
Oh, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, sure. We'll say that you find like a glass bowl that could fit him, and the glass bowl has like a snap-on lid.
Okay, so like a glass mason jar type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, great. I'm gonna grab that, and then I'm going to look at Cyber 6 and go, "We need to find it. We need to get it now, and we need to go."
Cyber 6 nods and quickly moves over to the door and starts fiddling with the access panel next to the door. And he says, "I'll lock them out. Buy us time. Get the device." And he like shakes his head behind him towards where, because you knew about where it was, and he points with his head in that direction. He says, "Small box. It's brown. Looks like it's made of wood, but it feels metallic."
Okay. Kid's going to, I guess, look for that then? Do I need to roll to see if I find it, or?
No, I wouldn't say so, because especially if you wanted to use the device Heartmade,
Yeah.
it could take you right to it. And what you find is, like he said, a box that is about 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. It has on top of it very sophisticated looking controls, like think like a keyboard and a small monitor on the top of it, but the keyboard is covered in symbols that you wouldn't recognize on a normal keyboard.
Okay.
And it's a little heavier. It weighs about 10 pounds. Not incredibly heavy. And actually, well, now that I think about it, you picked it up. It was nothing.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, you hear Cyber 6 say, "Lucas, if you're here and you have a way of sealing doors," and as he says that, you hear a something crash into the other side of the door, and Cyber 6 go, "Now would be a good time."
Let's just say if Lucas was here, a voice says in the room.
Damn it.
I can prevent. Lucas could prevent the door from opening. I'm not quite sure about reinforcing the door.
Yes, prevent from opening. Good. Buy us time. You know, if Lucas was here.
You hear some loud smacking, like he's just. Oh my god.
You hear another crash on the door, and Cyber 6 is putting his weight up against it. And you hear, "Kid, how we looking?"
I've got it, I think. Yes, and they're gonna hold it up in kind of like hop, so that they're like pushing it up over the piles of junk, just like, is this it?
Roll me. Actually, give me a second. I will roll something. Bum, 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 bum.
Stand perfectly still. Only I may dance.
Hi, Inferno.
I just wanted to say hi during this pause. I came in a while ago, but didn't want to steal any thunder.
Oh, did you know what's happening to your characters?
Oh my
Nope.
god.
Okay, we'll let it.
I'll figure it
wait
out.
until we. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't stop on me.
So, Kid,
Yes.
while you hold the box up, you notice for the first time you feel what feels like a bug bite on your leg. And I'm saying to you as a person because Kid probably wouldn't know what a bug bite feels like, given that most bugs couldn't really bite Kid.
No.
But
not
that
really.
kind of feeling, like you've just been stung on your shin, and when you feel that, you also begin to feel very very small. You didn't notice it before, but when your attention is drawn to it, it feels like something's crawling in your fur.
Ugh. Kid, oh god, Kid immediately drops the box and starts swiping at whatever's on their leg.
All right. You knock off a very tiny, maybe the size of a tick, a very tiny black little insect that then starts to try and scurry away. And the bite or whatever it was that's on your shin, it's burning, but it doesn't feel like it's spreading. It doesn't feel life-threatening. It's just painful as hell, but not to the point where it would impede you. And when it scurries away, you hear Fame say, because Fame, who's been quiet this whole time, but is still lying on the floor with his arm twisted in a really, really weird angle, says, "That's mine. You can't steal from me. I will kill you."
Kid frowns and goes, I forgot about you. And looks over at, well, kind of glances in Cyber 6's direction, and then, I don't have my thing anymore. I would like to find another thing to beat.
Oh, oh my god. Okay. You start looking around for a murder stick.
Yes.
Out of nothing, a flail comes out.
It's an actual, honest to God, almost medieval looking flail, made from metal with little. I believe this one had little spikes on the ball.
It's Christmas. Okay. Kid is going to take this and, without questioning it too much, going to go over to Fame, and I would like to kill him, please.
Oh,
may
yeah.
I?
So polite of you to ask permission to kill an NPC. Yes, you may. He is not in any condition to struggle against you. In fact, when you approach him, his face turns one to sheer terror. His arm that's twisted behind his back is in such a way that it's clear that he cannot move. His tentacle, he kind of holds his tentacle up in front of his face to kind of shield him, and it's wrapped around a small black vial that is quickly, I assume, once you start, I should leave this up to you. What does Kid do exactly? Because he is not offering any resistance, other than pitiful cries of terror.
Kid is going to take their brand new shiny weapon and crush his head in, if I might.
Squish.
With one blow, you not just crush his head in. I'm okay. Question: is this restrained at all? Is this kid going full force?
There is no restraint.
Okay. The flail smacks down into Fane's head and drives the head down into the chest. There is an explosion of blood. The tentacle that was holding the black vial is flung to the side, and when it hits the ground, it shatters. And you notice 2 or 3 more little black tick-like bugs start scurrying away. And the corpse that was Fame falls over.
Okay, good. I would like to go retrieve the box and then get the hell out of there now.
All right. During this
and I
time,
also still have the mason with the jelly goblin thing now.
Got it.
Still, yes.
Got it. It's still breathing shallowly, but it's unconscious. During this time, what is Lucas doing? Because I know he was smacking his gums.
He's going to use bubblegum stickum. And he's going to line the doorway with it.
All right. Describe, because this will become visible once it leaves your hands. So describe what Kid and Cyber would see, if you would.
They would see, slowly but surely, a thin line of pink gum line the right side of the door. Then they would hear an enchantment, and that would be it. A kind of almost stringy substance just kind of clings to the right side. Or whatever side that the door would usually open or close from.
Cyber 6, seeing this, tentatively steps back. His head's cocked to the side a little bit as he's examining the substance that looks very much like chewing gum. But when there's another impact into the door and the door holds more firmly than he was doing, he nods and he says, okay, that might buy us some time. Anyone got any ideas?
Kid's gonna be rushing to the back. How many doors lead into the back area?
One door leads into the back of the store. And in the back of the store, you see shelves that are a little more organized, and the things on these shelves look much better quality than what's out front.
No time to loot the place. Okay, is there an exit? Any further doors? Any windows? Anything?
Not in that back room, no. It looks like it's, well, tell you what. Roll me, you have detect concealment, right?
Yes.
Okay, roll me that, please.
I can do that. Yes, is the answer.
Wow. Okay. Let me think for a second. You don't find any exits per se, as in like windows or doors or things like that. However, during your search, you do find a very well concealed false floorboard that when you open it up, hoping maybe there's an exit or something, you see just a like a cubby hole in the floor, and there is a it's looks like a small silver rod that has no markings, no nothing on it. It's just pure smooth silver. And during your search, you also determine that while you don't see any doors or windows, the wall in the back of the room is the end of the building. You can put your ear to it, and you can hear telltale signs of the outside world.
Okay. Is this MDC material?
Yes, I'm going to say it is. Otherwise, they probably would have blasted through the front of the store pretty easily. And since the front of the store is still holding them, I would say the back of the store is at least weak MDC material.
I would like to grab the silver rod, go, shiny guy, come on, let's go, and just start beating the crap out of the back wall, if I might.
Okay. You hear as you say that, Cyber 6 comes in the room, shiny guy. And whatever he's going to say after that is cut off because you strike the wall with the smooth silver rod. And the second you do, you are blown backwards by a terrific wave of kinetic force. There is no visual, there's no fireball, there's no electricity, there's no nothing. But when you hit the wall, it's like the floor around you was just hit by a massive wave of invisible force. So much so that the wall cracks, the floor cracks, and you get flung across the room. And if you could please roll me 2d6.
Oh boy.
Okay, you take 4 mega damage as you are flung backwards across the room into Cyber 6. Give me a second real quick. Okay, who manages to react in time to like catch you and kind of be pushed back a few feet. But the impact of it still does 4 points of mega damage to you. And he holds you by the scruff of your neck and looks at you and says, "What did you just do?"
I don't know, let's go!
He shrugs and puts you down.
I'm going to hand over the box to him and keep my little mason jar full of jelly person and my rod. Is the wall still there, or is it just...
Yes, it definitely looks cracked and weakened, but it is still there.
All right, this time, just using my fist, I would like to punch the wall once more.
Okay.
Unrestrained, obviously.
Of course. Go ahead and roll me, we'll say a power punch because we're not really in a combat situation. I'm assuming you'd be putting your all into this.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me the damage you would do for a power strike. I don't have your character sheet open right at the moment. I believe normally you do 3d6, so do 66.
Okay. 66. Boop.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. That was
just
okay.
3d6. There
Yep.
you go.
Okay, there we are.
Okay then. Lucas, maybe. No. Okay, we'll just say we know he's here.
Surprise!
Lucas, you see Kid start tearing at the damaged wall with its claws and start ripping through the material with loud screeching noises. Kid's getting through the wall and making a pretty decent hole, but it's also clear that a lot of noise is being made.
Lucas is gonna go towards the door with the gum, and he's gonna go, "All right, charge her up. We're gonna shoot right through the front door."
You asshole!
No, that's awesome. All right, all right. You hear on the other side. You hear on the other side. Take cover. Katani, you! Knock down this door.
Must be the new guy.
And Cyber 6 hears what happened in the room, nods his head, and then says, quick thinking. Let's go while they're distracted. And about that time, you've made a hole big enough that you could fit through it easily. Cyber 6 and Lucas might have to, like, kind of finagle themselves through it. But they could certainly get through it. And it leads into a dark, relatively quiet alleyway behind the stores that you didn't realize was there. And if it's okay with that, I'm going to switch over to the other group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Xavier and Isaac have been apprehended by Transgalactic Cruise Line Security Force and the rookie. They have
Security Transportation Force. I reminded you last time.
Excuse me, criminal. Who's got the badge? That's right, I do.
Isaac mumbles, I freaking have one too, you stupid fuck.
Not helping, Xavier says, trying to give a charming smile. Shut up.
Both of you
He's
have
doing this wrong.
I'm not responding to that.
You hear behind you as you're being led to the security office. Yes.
Xavier is going to ask, what exactly are the charges that are being laid against us, sir?
Okay, hang on. You gotta give me a second here. And you'll understand why in a second, but let me think. Okay, yeah. You hear and Xavier, to give you a little context, you are being apprehended and led away by two people. You can see the picture of the bigger one, who's the captain. They're both of this alien species. Isaac has never seen them before. Xavier may have. You'd have to roll to see if you know them or not. You're welcome.
I'm going to
if you'd like. Huh? Okay. They are wearing black button downs and slacks and have a bandolier with a golden badge on it. It looks very much like a security uniform.
Uh-huh.
And the one behind you, the bigger one, says, "The charges against you are spreading injustice on my watch." And the rookie next to him says, "Captain, and also murder. And also murder."
I see. And you're taking us to your superior?
I am the superior.
Oh, good. Then where are you taking us?
Hang on. I'm taking you to the Transgalactic Cruise Line Transport Security Head Office.
Oh, good. And then we get to defend ourselves, right?
He tilts his chin up and he says, "You can try, criminal, but there's no defense from justice."
Hold up a second. Justice. You use the word justice, yet you call me a criminal already. Have you no idea of the context of the situation? May I ask upon you a philosophical hypothetical situation? And he's saying this as we're being led away. Imagine a complete other stranger threatened to kill you. And before they tried to kill you, you killed them in self-defense. Is that murder?
As you were asking the question, once you say, "Let me ask you a philosophical question," you see the rookie, who appears to be a female, smaller version of this man, like shake her head and mouth, "No."
I don't care. Xavier doesn't care. No.
Yeah. Xavier continues to answer.
I'd rather not be in prison. Thank you very much.
The man who's behind you, the security force head, says, "Well, philosophically, I suppose it would depend on if I'm on the right side of the law, and since I've got the badge and I uphold the law here, I would say I'd be justified."
Great. Now, imagine if you didn't have the badge. Would you still be justified?
I never don't have my badge.
Okay, just do me a favor and just imagine you not having the badge. The situation is the same. Just imagine. It's philosophical, remember. It's not real.
He doesn't respond, and his eyebrows kind of tighten in concentration.
Yeah, I got all the time in the world.
Okay. And then he pauses and he goes, I could never imagine myself breaking the law, so if I did it, there must be a damn good reason.
Or it's not against the law.
Or it's
What
not
is the
against
law?
the law, he says, like, over you.
Yeah. Xavier says exactly. What I'm saying is what we did was not against the law. It was self-defense. This man tried to kill us. And he had us trapped. We could not escape. Therefore, we had to respond with appropriate lethal force. I trust in your justice, and I hope we can get things sorted out in the headquarters, because Xavier gives a bit of a smile. And I succeeded on my galactic lore check by 10. So Xavier wants to quickly see if he can't recall some sort of cultural or religious phrasing for this particular species.
There
I
is
can make one up. if you
Yeah,
want me
well,
to.
there's no religious. You don't know any. You don't recall anything religious about them.
Okay.
Their names are the Twine, almost like like Twine.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I get it, Twine.
yeah, okay. I was gonna say that wasn't a good description on my part, but
Like Twine.
they're
Uh-huh.
Twine. They are they are pretty normal on most accounts, in the sense that they are as diverse as many species you've met, with one exception, which is the older ones, the ones that have past middle age, have a habit of becoming passionate about something and going into it with extreme devotion.
I see. Is this seen as a revered thing, a good thing in their culture? Or
It's
just a thing
seen
that
more
happens?
as an expected thing, kind of like in the 1950s, you were expected to get married and have 2 children.
Gotcha. All right. And if I'm married and I have 2 children, I'm pretty happy about it. Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. I can't remember. Anyway, Xavier says, yeah, that's so that's the reason why I'm looking forward to us going to the headquarters and getting this all straightened out. I have to assume that all of the individuals in leadership positions are like you, good Twine. Passionate, elder, experienced, and with a single-minded interest in doing what's right.
Hang on.
Silver tongue, don't save me now. I mean,
Yeah,
save me.
roll me a convince check, please.
It's a charm or intimidate, my friend. It's not a convince check.
Sorry. Roll me a charm.
I succeed by 18.
Okay. He says as he leads you, your poetic and absolutely true and flattering words will have no effect on me, criminal. He says as he does not look like that's the case at all. But behind him,
Xavier will not remind him that he's not a criminal yet until he's charged with something. Xavier's too smart for that.
Behind him, as you guys are being led down a hallway, the smaller one that he keeps referring to as Rookie says, in kind of a nervous voice, like she's not quite sure she should be talking, but she kind of picks up confidence as she goes along. She says, I think you might need to work on your story a little bit, since we saw the whole thing, and the man you shot didn't even have a weapon drawn, nor did he have you cornered at all.
Xavier gives a bit of a smile and he says, I don't need to elaborate the story. I don't need to work on my story. The truth is the truth. What you didn't see is significant, and I am happy to educate you on that. The factors that led up to such a showdown and the actual threat that we were faced with. It didn't look like we were cornered. Well, I assure you, we most certainly were. If we didn't go down that path, he would have opened fire and attacked us and brought many people, many innocent people into danger. But like I said, I will happily elucidate those details when we reach your headquarters.
And as you say that, actually, you stop in front of a door that looks like a very average door. It has a window in it with shutters, and on front of it, it says "Station Security."
Mm-hmm.
And the man will step around you, open the door, and turn on the light, and it's very sparsely furnished. It's clear that this place, these people do not have a big budget.
They're Spartans.
And
They're Judge
Xavier,
Dredd Spartans.
well, not so much. It's more this, and Xavier would understand this. Until now, you didn't even know the station had security. It's a black market front. You didn't even know they had security.
Yeah,
and
someone's got to put someone in line. It's weird that they hired Twine to do it, though. You'd think you pick someone a little bit more morally flexible if you want to enforce your power, but hey, whatever. Maybe they got a good deal. Maybe these people are Twine.
Yes. He leads you in, and Isaac as well. And the rookie will sit you down and remove your handcuffs.
Thank you. And Xavier will give a flashing smile to the Twine rookie as he rubs his ankles, as he rubs his wrists, as he rubs his ankles in an alluring fashion. And you like that, Twine? I hear you really love ankles.
The captain shuts the door resolutely and walks to the other side of the desk. And as he does so, the rookie is talking to Xavier and saying, "Do you have any witnesses that would perhaps corroborate?" Rookie, I got this. If you're so innocent, why is he wearing a mask? And he points to Isaac.
Religious reasons, Xavier says blankly.
Well, he looks damn suspicious to me. Take it off.
Are you saying those of the Kalaha faith are all suspicious because they must cover themselves between midday and mid-dusk?
Oh, the rookie pinches her finger and nose when you say that, almost in anticipation, and the captain slams his fist on the table. You can't cover yourself from justice!
We're not talking about covering yourself from justice. It's a religious expression. If anything, it's to... never mind. Listen, is there anyone else here Xavier has?
He sits down calmly, looking at Xavier. The calm nature that Xavier is keeping is having some... It looks as though it's having some form of effect.
Good.
And he sits down and he adjusts his bandolier and he says, "Our department has been through some cuts. Not that it's necessary."
No, of course not. You have everything quite handled. I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to know if you had any backup.
He very quickly, and I'm just letting you guys warning you very quickly. He draws his pistol very quickly and says, "I got all the backup I need right here."
Oh, okay. I can't really talk to that though. I'd rather talk with you. I meant on a more administration level, not a violent level. We're not violent people. Why do you have the setbacks? Are you not getting enough funding? Do you run the station not care for what you do in your justice? Xavier probes coyly.
Obviously looks taken aback. And it takes him a second to recollect himself, and he says, "Look here, criminal. We run a tight ship on this station. There's no criminal activity. There's no mafia. There's no black market on my watch. So we don't need the backup."
Oh, Xavier says, and he gives a bit of a smile. Are you because you spend all the time hunting it down, right?
Damn right.
Okay. Well, what would you do if I told you that there is... Xavier kind of gives a bit of a smile, and he says, this is kind of the reason why we got whole messed up in this. May I begin from the beginning, sir?
I'd like you to start from the beginning.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you insist, sir. If you insist. So we came to this fine fair station in order to enjoy its comforts, knowing that it was such a law-abiding, tight ship, as you say, where a person like ourselves could get a drink and relax, not worry about the lawless insanity that is Center. And Xavier will give like a disgusted look, like sympathetic towards this twine. And then Xavier says, we were having a drink, and when this man that is now deceased came up to us and wanted to sell us something highly illegal. He said he was a part of a secret criminal ring that was operating here on this station, and he insisted that we purchase some narcotics, illegal narcotics, for an incredibly steep price. We, of course, denied him, but he was extremely persistent. He came after my friend and said that if he didn't purchase from him, he would do him great bodily harm. Now, thankfully, I intervened. I tried to cajole the criminal mind because, as you know, sir, the criminal mind is soft and weak and greedy. So I told him I too was a criminal. It was a very clever ruse, and I tried to explain to him that we would both try to beat my friend up together. He agreed to that ruse, and in which he planned a fake ambush, in which he told me if I exited that establishment, that bar with my friend, and went any other way, he would chase after us and beat us and kill us and harm other people in the way. So now I was hoping to deflect this awful man, but it turned out and created a trap for us. So there was only one way out of this trap, unfortunately. As you know, sir, judge, lawbringer, that sometimes criminals, they're like a Kalthar tick. You can't ask them to leave your skin. You have to burn them out and then dig out the remains. Unfortunately, we had to excise the same way. Since we had no other choice to leave and we didn't see you around, or we would have hailed you as soon as we could, then we had to take violent force. My only regret is that we didn't see you beforehand and ask you to assist us. But as a repentance of this, I am very willing to tell you everything I know about the criminal enterprises that are going on under here. These smug, awful, if I may use the term, bastards, think they have one over on you. They think because you are small in number, you are weak in ability. But I don't think that, which is why I want to tell you everything, so you can go after the real wrongdoers. Xavier will give a sympathetic smile.
Okay, I will tell you, because you've already rolled, I'm not going to make you roll another charm check.
Well, I can if you want to, if you want to add modifiers or something to it.
Okay, you know what? In this instance, yes. Roll me another charm check. Make it harder by 30.
Oh, harder by 30.
Yeah, and I will.
I know. I'm just like, hey, Opa!
Wow.
I still succeed considerably.
Wow. Okay.
I love my character. I love him so much. We can do anything as long as I can explain away. I don't know. Actually, wait. I shouldn't celebrate yet. We're not out of the situation. I just rolled a 4. You can just not throw us in prison and
die.
do a horrible thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe I got a quick death.
You
good
see,
criminal.
You see that your words are seeming to have an impact, definitely on the female. She seems to be considering your words.
Good.
He also considers your words.
Uh-huh.
And then he holds up a hand, and he says, "You talk the silver honey of the jujubes,
Yes, I do.
but no one is going to convince me that there's a criminal ring on my station in my watch."
As he does that, as he's in mid-sentence, Xavier would like to go into his hollow computer and just ring up all the shady shit this place is known for. You know, like news reports, like things on the intranet about like, hey, if you want to score a great blow, come here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All this stuff. And as he's doing that, Xavier, like when he's at the end of his sentence, Xavier's just going to smile and show him the screen, just filled with clear evidence that something shady is going on. In this
and it's not very hard for you to do either.
I know!
That's the sad bit.
So you start doing that, and he starts looking at. He takes the data pad and he goes through it, and he like turns his chair
Sure, I'll detach
away
my
from
hollow
you.
computer from my
Okay.
wrist so I can
Thank
look
you.
at it.
And he'll turn his chair around so its back is towards you. And while he's doing that, the rookie kind of goes in front of you and sits on the table, and she says, "Okay, say we're willing to believe your story.
Okay.
We would need two things first.
Okay.
I'm sorry if it is a religious thing, but we need to remove your friend's mask. It is protocol. And you have to understand that many criminals use masks to hide behind.
Okay.
You must be
What's
able
the
to-
second thing?
The second thing is, do you have any witnesses? Anyone at all that could account or corroborate your story?"
Of course. Xavier says, we were in a bar where the conversation was heard very loudly of this man's threats against my friend. I will quickly give you the name of one witness, a man I befriended quite considerably. He's probably still at the establishment now since your justice was so quick. And Xavier is going to give the name of his friend. Mm-hmm.
She shakes her head when you say justice. She says, not to me, please.
Okay, great. Xavier says even better. To Seth. I'll give him Seth's name, Seth Geiser's name, because he was in the bar drinking with us when that happened, right? And the best thing is that most of my tale is completely true, so they'll be easy to corroborate. Xavier says, on the mask issue, first I need to ask you a question. Are you bound by any other laws or regulations, or are you just bound by your own? For example, if there was a bounty or a want out by, say, the CCW or the Spilgorth Empire, would you act on it?
She looks to the captain, who still has his back turned towards everyone, and then she looks back and she says, "If I've learned anything in my short time here, is that all the captain's interested in is right and wrong, justice and injustice."
So as long as we didn't do anything wrong in their eyes, then we have nothing to fear?
Obligated to uphold any bounty contracts made by third parties, no.
Excellent. You're not obligated. I understand that the Twine are individuals of their word. Is this a correct rumor that has hit my ears?
I would say that depends on the Twine, but I would like to think that you could trust our word
Good.
and our uniform.
Wonderful. Then, before my friend removes his mask, I ask both you and your commanding officer to swear an oath that you will not hand this over to any harm of a third party.
If the crime you are accused of today is cleared from your names, we do not partake in bounty hunting.
Excellent. That's all I needed to know.
I will, if you will wait here, I will bring in this Seth for questioning.
Great.
I'm going to cut over, but here's what I will let you know. So once she leaves, there's about 20 minutes of
Great silence, or while that
awkward
guy's
silence
distracted.
the captain never turns back towards you. It's as if he is studying the
Okay.
data holo terminal you've given him.
Great. So since his back is towards us and Xavier's no longer handcuffed, he's going to lean towards Isaac and whisper as softly in his ear as possible and say, "You're a psychic. Do you have any mind communication abilities?" Shh, whisper in my ear.
No, no. I'm more like
Okay, well then we'll just
moving-
have to use...
moving stuff with my mind.
Gotcha. Well, all right. Xavier will give a shrug. And he'll wait. Oh, but beforehand, like 5 more minutes will pass, and Xavier will look to Isaac and he'll lean over and he says, "I was in a much worse situation in Sigmar 5. This is no problem."
Yeah, these guys are a joke, but yeah, sure.
Don't tell them
whisper.
they're a joke. They're very serious.
I know. I had to have a laugh earlier.
Yeah, great. We'll save the laughing for once we're out of here.
I know.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, and then we'll wait. I'll wait at least. There was a little Spanish flea.
All right,
I
I'm sorry.
thought he had justice.
I had to mute because I'm laughing at the idea that Xavier's been in a similar situation to this.
No, I was in a worse situation than this.
Ow! I mean, yes.
I don't
but
know. I'll
still.
indulge in my backstory later on.
Okay.
I mean,
with
you
that, I'm
can't be a smuggler, even an amateur smuggler, without running afoul of the law a few times.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're caught, but you run afoul of them.
True enough. All right, so I'm going to cut back over to the other group for a bit if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, go nuts.
All right. So you, the three of you have, well, at least we are confirmed that Kid and Cyber 6 have squeezed through the hole into the dark alley. You can hear what look like, yes, what auditorily look like laser blast striking the front of the store. But the back alleyway is for the moment empty.
Okay. What do I remember at all the direction that we came from? This is the question. Because this is like right adjacent or parallel from the marketplace that we came in from, correct?
Correct. I'm
Okay.
going to say what was your IQ again?
24.
Yeah, I'm going to say you probably remember at least generally the route you took to get here.
I would like to retrace that as well as I can in the back alleys for a bit.
Oh, okay, I see. Do you have any sort of navigation at all?
Let's find out. There's land navigation.
Do you have that?
Yes.
Okay. Roll that skill, make it harder by 20%. No, by 15%.
Okay. So plus by how much?
By 15.
15. Okay, I thought you said 50 for a second, and I was like, don't do that to me.
You're not in a labyrinth.
Oh, okay. So I fail by 4.
That's still not horrible. You are able. You take a few wrong turns that lead either back to the street where the commotion is, or into a dead end, and it takes you. I believe it took you about 45 minutes to get from the entrance to where you found the store.
Mm-hmm.
It takes you about twice as long, so about an hour and a half to get back. So it's going to take you about an hour and a half to kind of navigate the back alleys, but in so doing, you don't have to go back onto the crowded street. If you choose to go back on the crowded street at some point, you would speed up the process because you'd no longer have to be tracking through back alleyways.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't be like trying to get back to the entrance
Where
via
would
back
you-
alleys. It would just be like until the noise of like them trying to
Okay.
break down the door has faded a little bit, then we slip back into the crowd like nothing's wrong.
Okay. In that case, it would take you about 15 minutes of wandering the back alleys to get far enough away that you're fairly confident you could slip back into the crowd.
Awesome.
And then from there, are you trying to head out?
Yes, that
Okay.
is the plan.
So we'll say it takes about an hour to get, because once you get back out into the street, you're easily lost among the throng. And it
That's
takes
what happens when you're short.
Lucas, are you doing good there, buddy?
Oh, I'm holding up. Don't mind
All
me none.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure. So it takes you about an hour to get back to the entrance of level 3 on center and get once you get to the entrance, you walk through the Splagorth side and get back to the free market side, and you're immediately stopped by fully body armored Prometheans.
God damn it.
If they hold up a hand and they say, "What items are you bringing in?"
Kid's gonna look down at their loot and go a boomstick and a jelly in a jar.
The Promethean tilts his head at the boomstick, and he looks at the device. He asks if he can examine it.
Kid hands it over reluctantly.
Okay. He hands it to someone who is in full body armor but looks more humanoid.
Mhm.
And they hand it back saying, "It's pretty powerful, but I don't sense anything that would be an issue." And the Promethean nods and then hands it back, and then takes a look at the jar with the little jellyfish inside it, and looks at it and says, "What is this? Pet? Family? Acquaintance? Business partner?"
Yes.
I'm sorry, could you be more specific, ma'am?
Business partner.
Hey, don't be racist.
I found them and they were hurt, and I scooped them, and now I'm taking them for help.
The Promethean will look at it and look at you for a while, and then he'll sigh and he'll say, "I hear too many damn stories like that. There's a hospital down the road, 15 minutes on foot. It's called St. Mercy's. They know how to care for all kinds of things." And then with that, he motions through. And he stops Cyber 6, of course, and asks what he's...
Hey, Squee,
mhm.
may I go, "Hey, send me the box. I'll give you a stick."
To Cyber 6. Cyber 6 sighs and like while I'm assuming this is happening while Promethean's dealing with Kid.
Yes.
He just holds the box out to the side because he doesn't know what else to do.
He will have the box taken from him and slipped precariously into his clothes, and he will then feel a rather large mega damage blunt weapon.
So a large metal pole.
basically.
Replaces hands. All right. So kids let through. Cyber 6 is stopped. The Promethean asks, "What are you declaring?" And Cyber 6 just kind of puts the stick up against his shoulder and he says, "Just this stick." And the Promethean looks at him. And after a few seconds, Cyber 6 says, "Look, it's been a bad day. I've lost one of my favorite guns." Oh, wait, I'm sorry. He says just the stick, and of course he has his guns strapped on him. But the Promethean doesn't seem to pay them any mind. And you notice too when you were coming in, regular weapons and the like aren't paid much attention. But Cyber 6, exasperated, says, "I lost one of my guns. I lost my hat. I lost my poncho, and the only thing I have to show for it is this damn stick. So yeah, that's what I have." And the Promethean says, "Okay, all right. Just asking. It's my job, you know." And with that, he ushers Cyber 6 through. No one seems to address or notice Lucas is there.
Yay!
And you guys are able to slip through. Well, not just slip through. You actually legitimately pass through.
Except for me.
Security, except for you. You slip through. Security. So you're back into the free trade center. And this entire time, actually, you have not had any contact over the radio from your friends. The last transmission you got was from Seth saying that Xavier's kind of busy talking to someone, and that was it.
Kids kind of doing like a little shuffle, like starting to go towards the transport things, but also kind of like shuffling between that and the direction of the hospital, just kind of like and looks over at Cyber 6 and goes, "Where do we go?"
Cyber 6 looks at the little creature in the jar, and he gets back on the radio and he says, Xavier?
Huh?
No, he doesn't get a response at first, so then he kind of switches a gear or clicks or something, and then Xavier, your actual comms, which to your knowledge and to Isaac's knowledge don't normally have the kind of range to make it all the way down from the space station to center. But a very weak signal comes in. Xavier, Isaac?
A little busy right now. What's going on?
You hear a message come back a little staticky. "We got the device. We need to make a pit stop."
Okay, meet you soon, Xavier says. He clicks off the radio, hoping this won't take too long, but is dreaming of going back in time and kicking this man when he's a juvenile.
You have
for justice, motherfucker.
You have noticed once in a while during the 20 minutes you hear like that kind of noises, but that's it. That's all that's come from the captain's chair.
Just think it in.
The Cyber 6 would say, "Lucas, are you any issues with making a stop at the hospital?"
How long should I be not noticeable? I just don't even feel like keeping up the ruse anymore.
Question: are you saying that in character to Cyber 6?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cyber 6 will look around and he'll say, "I don't see any Splagorth. We're certainly out of Splagorth territory. They cannot take you without a fight from the Prometheans. I think you're pretty safe."
All right. I'll trade you this box for your stick.
Cyber 6 gladly hands back the stick.
And a reappearing Lucas in ninja garb hands back the box it was basically bulging like big box shape out of his ninja garb as he scoops it out and gives it to him.
Just like a giant square pregnancy.
Pretty much. Cyber 6 takes it back, easily hefts it in one arm, and you guys begin making your way towards St. Mercy. Once you get there, it is surprisingly quiet for a hospital. There are, of course, patients there, but it's not like rushed or filled to capacity, where it's not like Grey's Anatomy where people are rushing through hallways. Stat! You walk in, you see people in a waiting room, and you see a front desk with a wolfen in what looks like scrubs that are designed to be a bit baggy. Behind
there a
that
line?
desk. No line.
Okay, kid's gonna run up to the counter and put the jar on top of the counter, and goes, "Fix it."
Okay, the counter actually goes up to like your chin, so
Yeah, so it's pretty much like a little child, like plopping it down on, just like trying to go tiptoes to look over, just like, "Fix it now."
The nurse at the desk looks at it and kind of stands up and then looks over the table. Oh, hi. Have you lost your parents, little one?
Kid frowns and then goes, I'm not here for that. I'm here for this. Fix it." And they kind of like push the jar a little further on the counter.
The nurse looks at it and sees that it is a living being that is unconscious and breathing shallowly, and then says, "What happened to it?"
Bad things. Fix it.
Could you be more specific, please?
Is anyone going to step in? Because kid doesn't know what to do.
I was waiting.
Reassemble,
Okay.
Stephanie.
I guess you haven't seen this for a while. Lucas has gone into his fisherman again.
God.
He goes, "Oh, there you are!" As he bangs the stick onto the table. You seem to have known it. Yes, it seems so happens that this little fella got quite in a pickle.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you tell me what happened to it, so that I could at least know what department to...
It seems to have gotten into a little bit of a scuffle.
Oh my God.
It looks at the little jelly-like creature in a glass container. With what?
Squid, probably.
An ugly thing with a whip for an arm. Fix it.
Right. Of course. And he kind of hesitates, and then Cyber 6 just says one word. He goes, "Splagorth," and points to the bowl. And the wolfen in the scrub's eyes like go a little wide, and then looks to Kid and the fisherman and goes, "Wait, this thing is from over there," and he points like back towards the Splagorth area.
Kid just start smacking their hands, restrained, but like enough to make the noise of like, fix it now, it's dying.
With that, the wolfen picks up and says, "I need a doctor." And fairly quickly, the little creature is rushed into an emergency room. You're told to wait outside, and they will inform you if they need anything.
Kid is just continuously pacing back and forth.
All right. Do you guys mind if we cut back over to the other group real quick?
Fix it!
I don't mind. I do not mind at all.
So-
Go ahead.
After about 20 minutes of awkward silence and quiet radio conversations and the like, the rookie comes back with a very angry looking Seth.
Okay.
And
Well, I'll cheer him up later.
she basically brings him into the room, points to Xavier and Isaac, which, by the way, Isaac, have you taken off your mask?
We didn't hear an oath yet.
Yeah, we didn't hear an oath yet.
Okay, I'm just asking. All right, so the mask is still on. So she points to Xavier and Isaac, and she says, "Are these the two?" And Seth says, he looks angry and like uncomfortable looking around. Yeah, that's the two. Like I said, the guy just walked in there, started talking a bunch of trash, and then challenged them to a fight outside. I don't know what happened after that, but look, I hardly even know these guys, all right? And, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, that was me sighing. Sorry.
She looks to Xavier and then looks to Seth, and she says, "Did you see them kill the creature down there?" And Seth looks at Xavier long and hard. And
Xavier
it's almost
gives
like
a smile and he says, "You have no dog in this fight, stranger. Just tell the truth."
he nods a little unsure and he says, "Yes. Apparently they had a conversation. Didn't seem to go too well. That creature walked outside the bar and it must have been waiting for them outside because I saw them walk outside and then that one," he points to Isaac, "shot him in the head." But yes, the creature, if you want to call it that, I believe he said his name was Me, approached them and seemed to be very aggressive towards them. Can I go now? And the rookie says, "That's all. Thank you." And Seth gives Xavier one last look and then leaves the room.
Yeah.
And the rookie looks to the captain and then back to you, and she says, "All right." He checks your story out, more or less.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure if he knew he was bearing witness to a act of self-defense, he probably paid more attention. But the bulk of it goes along with what I was saying.
All right. So, considering that his testimony, and when she says that, the captain spins around back in his chair, throws the hollow terminal on the desk, probably harder than he should, and he says,
I just bought a new one. Oh, okay. What'd you
"Rookie,
get?
I've been going through this. I've been connecting the dots. And there's
Okay.
no doubt some people might miss it. I wouldn't expect you to get it, rookie, not yet. But I think there's a criminal element right here under our noses." The rookie
Xavier looks underneath the
rolls her
man's
eyes.
desk.
And he looks to you to Isaac and to Xavier, and he says, "I know you don't know the importance of what you brought me, but I want to thank you.
You're welcome.
But that doesn't mean I'm letting you off the hook yet.
No,
You still killed a man in cold blood."
self-defense.
He pauses and he says, "Maybe.
Okay.
Actually, Captain, they have a witness to corroborate. Maybe. So I'm going to give you a chance to prove your innocence to me.
Okay.
This criminal element, it permeates almost every corner of this station.
Uh-huh.
Whoever conceived this, in order to get this past me, has to be a mastermind of epic proportions. And I can't just walk in there and take him down. I'm going to need to be smart about this.
Okay.
So, you want your freedom?
Uh-huh.
You're going to help me take down the black market."
Oh. Do I get a badge? Xavier asks. Are you gonna swear me in? I mean, because Xavier says, because if I do, because I don't want to be a vigilante. That's what got me in trouble in the first place, right? In order to invoke the law, justice, I'm going to need a badge.
By Solomon, you're right.
Oh,
I can't
God.
have vigilantes working under me.
Oh,
And the
no.
rookie's like, Captain. And he opens the drawer. And
Sweet.
he pulls
I'm going
out...
to get badge too. Isaac, look at me.
Isaac will roll his eyes as if they were rolling back into his brain.
Sweet.
He pulls out two rather old and ratty-looking badges and spins them with a flourish on the desk. Like he throws it on the desk to where it hits the desk and spins. But
Xavier
not
will give
well enough.
like
One
a
of them,
little whistle and approving to like make this guy feel like a big man.
one of them though spins off the table. He didn't do it right, and he says, "Put those on. You're now deputies of the Transgalactic Cruise Line Transportation Station Security Force, and we're gonna bring justice to this station."
Yeah, justice, Xavier says, with as much enthusiasm as he can muster. As he pins on his badge and shows it to Isaac.
Isaac will just give him a dirty look.
He'll look at Isaac and he'll say, "Put it on, son. You earned it. And take off that mask. You have no need to hide under the light of justice."
They can't turn in one of their own.
Sure. Isaac will pin on the badge and take off the mask.
You take off the mask and the rookie's eyes widen. She goes, "Oh, you're them."
What do you mean, them? Who's he? Xavier asks, stumbling.
The Splagorth want him really bad. I just assumed that if you're running with him and you know, because obviously you know from what you said before, I don't remember your face, but...
And
well,
obviously...
I remember what you said, Xavier says, and he looks at her stone cold. You're not bounty hunters, and we're a part of you now.
She looks to Xavier and looks at the captain. "Captain, I just feel it's my duty to inform you that the Splagorth has a very large bounty on this man for crimes against the Splagorth Empire." And the captain looks Isaac straight in the face, slaps the table, and says, "I knew I made the right call."
Only one question there, sir, Xavier says. We don't want your new deputies to get into serious danger before we can find and dispatch of this black market. If he walks around in that face, if he steps out of this office in that face, someone's going to call it in, right? He's going to get in serious trouble. I mean, you're not bounty hunters, but I bet you a bunch of people out there are, including the criminals that were supposed to be, kind of Russ out. With your permission, I suggest a temporary suspension of policy and allowing him to put on his mask as he's a deputy. Since you've seen his face, you know what's underneath the mask. So under your eyes, he is unmasked. You've seen the true person, right?
Oh, God. Roll me another convince check. Make it easier by 20.
Stop calling a convince check.
I'm sorry, yes, a charm check. And make it
I'm not
easier
trying to roll to convince him. I'm rolling to charm him.
Make it easier by 20.
Oh, 20?
Okay,
then I
good.
succeed.
Do the roll!
I did.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He looks at you and he says, "Yes, I see exactly what you mean. We want them to fear the badge, not the faces. So we make the badge the most noticeable thing there."
Oh, Jesus Christ,
but the
what are you
badge on
doing?
his
Masks.
forehead.
Oh my God, no!
The rookie's like,
Yeah.
"Captain,
No, Xavier's
really-
going to encourage this from the captain. I think that is a damn good idea, sir.
What the fuck are we getting ourselves into? Okay.
And, the captain at that point says, "It's been a long day. We've been
Mhm.
through a lot.
We have.
I say, we meet here tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock sharp. And
All
we're
right.
going to find out how to take down this heinous organization."
We'll be here bright and early. As the Galaxians say, we will be bright of eye and bushy of tail. And then he'll lean over and whisper to the rookie, they're known for having really bushy tails.
She nods. And with that, you're free to go. Do you go? Or...
Yes, we go.
I'm going to the fucking ship, okay? I'm gonna go
The rookie
take a fucking nap.
As you're leaving, the captain has his arms crossed in a pose of immense satisfaction. The rookie seems almost like she's being left behind.
Well, too bad. Ship's full, even though she's a cutie. Can't help her right now.
And you leave the office.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Before we leave,
Mhm.
Xavier will turn to her and say, "Are you off duty now too?"
Oh God.
She looks at Xavier and she says, "Apparently, no. I have to go buy masks. Thanks for that."
Masks. Oh, yeah. Well, once you're done buying masks, do you want to meet me over at wait, not bar number 4. That's where the thing happened.
Bar number
no-
6.
Yeah, or another drinking establishment nearby. I'm sure we might have passed one or signs to one on our way to the headquarters.
Okay, you've done really well on your rolls. All right, so she gets close to Xavier and she kind of cups a hand on his cheek and she says, "You're cute, but I don't date coworkers."
Oh, I don't want to date. I just want to talk to you, get to know you a little bit. I don't want to, And he's gonna like point between them. I mean, what kind of guy do you think I am? I just want to get to know you.
She's walking away, but
All
she
right,
does have a
whatever.
little.
Fine, you know what?
Sway to her
Next time
hips.
she says "save me" or like she gives me those fucking puppy dog eyes of "you're leaving me behind," can't say I didn't try. Whatever.
You do know she has a bit more sway to her hips than might be necessary.
Oh, I'm sure she does. I'm sure she thinks she's being very coy and hard to get. Well, I got news for her. I can play even harder to get because we're not showing up tomorrow.
Yeah, we're
What?
I'm gonna leave her wanting.
You're gonna just let this plot hook dangle?
Fuck yes. Are you kidding
In a
me?
universe where I was God, the black market was dismantled. We don't need to do that again.
Trust me, the irony was not lost on me when you pulled out the data pad going, "I'm going to tell you everything."
Oh boy.
All right, you guys are free
People from
to
space
go.
are weird.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm so glad you rolled that on the table. Personally.
Roll what on the table?
So yeah, you won't hear for that. When I was debating what would happen for shooting that guy in the middle of the station with witnesses, because with this kind of station, it could be any number of things. I said, screw it. I'm gonna make a table and make him roll for it.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And I rolled a
that
37.
kind of table.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And encounter
Gotcha. Tables are fun. I like tables.
Oh yeah, they are. And we hadn't had a table in a long time, so.
All right. But
captain
anyways,
of
yeah,
the-
we're going back to the ship once once we get like out of range of these guys, a good away from the headquarters. I'm gonna try to radio Seth and be like, "Hey, buddy, how are you?"
You'd get an answer. What the hell was that?
We
Philip?"
were arrested by the local, and then Xavier will do air quotations, even though Seth can't see. He's gonna say law enforcement around here. So I spun it truthfully as self-defense. They needed a witness. You're the only one who saw what was going on. You did a great job.
Yeah, thanks for that. I do business here, and now everyone saw me walk into that idiot's office. I'm going to have to explain this away like I was brought in for questioning or something.
Well, that's exactly what happened, Xavier says. So it's easy. Also,
6
yes, he was an
million.
idiot.
The price has gone to 6 million for my inconvenience.
How about 5 million and a badge? Xavier says. How about... You know what I think would be easiest for you, Seth? If you could walk around this station incognito as a deputy. Imagine how many doors you could unlock, how many valuables you could get to, connections you could make if you could pose as a deputy of the law.
Are you joking with me right now?
No. That idiot, as your words said, wanted to hire us to quote unquote hunt down the black market. So he deputized us. So both me and Isaac now have badges that we don't really care about, and you can have them and you can sell them or you can use them. But I'm sure it could be valuable to people up here. So 5 million and 2 badges.
Well just melt that down for scrap. They're considered a joke here.
Well, then why are you so pissy about it? If that guy's just a joke,
because
then
I have a reputation to keep. If any of these idiots on the station think I'm working with that asshole, my reputation will be damaged. But
and how 6 million credits going to fix that?
And as he says, as for the Transgalactic Transportation Security Force, I think is what they call themselves. Everyone sees them coming a mile away, so your badges are about as useful to me as the bottom of my boot.
Okay, but I can't see your boot, and you said you could... it doesn't matter. We don't have to worry about the simile, Xavier
He actually chuckles, just a little bit, like the I'm pissed, but you said something funny chuckle.
Yeah, that's because I'm great. Xavier say, okay, well, tell you what. I do sympathize. People in our line of work should never be... It should give, regardless of the law, rather whether they're being completely... even whether they're legitimate or ridiculous, you're right. We should have a wide breadth of the law. So I believe you should be compensated. But honestly, Seth, think about it. That guy was going to turn in and kill Isaac. Isaac, who has a bounty on his head. Would you rather have us dealt with those idiots or rather dealt with Splagorth mercenaries? I picked the lesser of two evils because I saved us a world of possible trouble and that you were hauled in to an idiot's office rather than the pain scepter of a Splagorth High Lord. I would like to think that maybe instead of giving you 6 million, how about we dicker down to 5.5?
There's silence for a while, and then a very nervous voice comes back. What did you say? Did you just say Isaac, Bounty, and Splagorth?
Nope! Wiring 6 million to you right now, Seth. This is a bad communication. I think we're picking up something weird.
Don't you dare wire me that money. Don't you contact me again. Don't you call me again. I know that bounty and that name, and you didn't tell me you were messed up with them. I am not going to end up on the end of some Splagorth pain stick. I don't know you. I've never seen you. This communication is over.
All right, bye, Seth.
Okay,
Click.
Bye. It's been nice hanging out with you for the past 5 minutes.
But Xavier's mood is going to foul considerably. He says he was my most reliable and loyal contact on Center. Mm-hmm. Now all I know is dregs. That bounty might have saved us money, but it burnt something a lot more valuable in the long run.
Yeah.
Now I really don't mind going back in time or forward in time or where the fuck we need to go because Center is not much of a sanctuary anymore. Even less so. All right, let's get to the ship.
Before we left, you got your PPK, right? Because they confiscated it.
Oh, yeah, they got my gun back?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. I mean, a deputy needs a firearm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we going to go back and board? No, we have to meet. Wait. Wait a second. Where are we going to rendezvous? Have we figured that out yet?
I don't think we did, so I'll let it be flexible where you guys really would want to, or where you
Well-
think your characters would have chosen.
See, here's the thing. Cyber 6 can talk to us at any time. So
That's true.
As soon as he gets up here, he can just call and go, hey, where are we meeting?
How about we meet if they can get back to the second chance
Yeah.
before dawn tomorrow, then we can just meet at the second chance and board from and disengage from here, right?
Mhm.
But if it takes longer, the second chance and us got to get the fuck off of the station, or we're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
So Xavier will ask over the radio to Cyber 6, how long's your detour gonna take?
At that point, you would all be in the waiting room, and Cyber 6 would say, well, we had an injured party. They're treating them now. Not quite sure.
Oh, who got hurt?
I'm not really sure what got hurt, but it got hurt pretty bad.
What? Oh, kid.
What? No, Kid's fine. Kid's actually a scrapper, surprisingly.
So, Lucas, why are you referring to it?
Because I don't know what it is. There's a
But it's
thing.
not one of us, so why don't you leave it in the care of medical professionals and get your asses, Metallic Furry and Lucas, back on to the station?
Hey, you
Am
wouldn't know
I
Lucas is
hearing
weird.
this?
Yeah, no, actually, Lucas, well, wait, yes, because you all had radio earplans plugged in.
Yeah.
And Cyber 6 is acting like a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Nice. Okay, Kid is going to put a hand to their ear and go, they're fixing it, we're waiting, and just continuing to pace back and forth.
Cyber 6 says, well, you heard Kid, they're fixing it, and we're waiting.
And how? Listen, all right, do whatever you want, but we okay. Isaac, myself, and the ship have to be out of here before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
We'll be up there before then, one way or another.
All right, and just to
And-
confirm, you do have the device.
Have it safe and sound. We'll be able to travel once we get back aboard the ship, and I
Good.
believe Hart, if she is as good as I think she is, should be able to work it out.
Okay. Xavier says, I'm done drinking. I'm going to rest.
All right. We can.
Hey,
move things-
Cyber 6,
Yes.
have you ever dated a twine before?
I've only run into a few.
Uh-huh.
In fact, the only one that I seem to recall
Uh-huh.
recently was a comedian. And
Twine comedian.
they-
Was he old?
Yeah, and she couldn't take anything seriously. Everything was a joke.
I see.
I can't
That
imagine.
sounds great.
He shakes his head at Lucas. You might sound great for a night, maybe a day, but not for a week, and dear God, not for a month. The
Gotcha.
dedication of an old twine is ridiculous.
Xavier fires in his memory bank to never marry a twine. Unless their personalities are surrounding sex and then they just become stubborn about it, Xavier could deal with that. That would be a good stubbornness. Anywho,
Darling, I need rest. All right.
well, they need
we-
to sleep too.
We need to. I mean, we don't need to. We can push things ahead a little bit narratively if everyone's good with
Sure.
that.
Okay.
You would. It would only take about 2 or 3 hours. The Saint Mercy, being a hospital on center, is used to treating all kinds of alien life forms. Excuse me. A doctor would come out with a wake and patched up is a loose term. The jellyfish type bulb has white bandages that adhere to it. And it now that it's awake, you can see that it has bright violet eyes that are a little bigger than what you would expect, and the mouth can also get bigger than you would expect as well. The doctor would bring it back to Kid and say that was a little touch and go there, but hang on. Yeah, sorry. It was a little touch and go there, but frills are rather resilient and heal quickly. He will be fine. I'm surprised to see one, though. They're very rare.
Is it like still in the jar, or has it been like
yes,
moved
it's still in the
something
jar,
else?
but it can actually God, I wish I could find a picture to show you. Imagine a jellyfish where the tentacles are actually very thick and it can stand on them. And they're very small tentacles. It's just standing or sitting upright with its eyes, and when it looks at you, its eyes get wide and it starts like swaying back and forth.
Kid's just kind of gonna hold the. Did they give it back, or?
Yeah. The doctor gave it back, and he's
Okay.
going to say, now, it should be fine. Just give it its normal diet, and do not let it transform into any shape for at least 3 days. I don't care how simple or rudimentary. It must stay in its original form for at least 3 days. Do you understand?
Kid frowns and goes, "What's its diet?"
What? You don't know what its diet is?
Should I?
I assumed it was yours. All right. Well, it generally loves to feed off of any kind of non-toxic seaweed. The frill used to be aquatic before they evolved to, well, changed shapes, but diet has not changed that much. Many seaweeds are okay if you're in a pinch. Any sort of green leafy plants should be fine.
Oh, okay. Are we done? Is it fixed?
Well, yes, there we are done. Of course, there is the matter of payment. The medical bills are going to come out to 56,000 credits.
Oh, Grandpa can fix that.
Jesus Christ.
Good, because Kid doesn't carry cash or credit. But
Yeah, yes, will do. As he like shakily puts his hand over the counter and then drops it. Oh. My hand used to be. Did you ever know back in the day I was the top line in the Fisherman's Quarterly?
Of course you were, sir. Very good, sir. As the nurse takes the credits and swipes it and gives you a receipt, an itemized receipt that is 56,000 credits, and it has pretty much like your standard medical bill, like $500 for bandages, $2,000 for a test that you've never even heard of.
Back in my day, these were all down a digit or two as he like squints his eyes at the paper.
And Cyber 6 says, well, now that that's taken care of, we should probably... Xavier seemed rather anxious to get going.
Kid takes off towards the transportation terminals.
So long, as he like picks up his clothes and scampers away like a spry old man.
Here's a question real quick for Kid.
Yes.
So you're on center. You're actually fairly close to where Seth's base of operations is, where you've been staying for a while. Do you want to take the frill with you? Do you want to, because you could just stop by Seth's place and drop it off in your quarters?
I don't know that Seth isn't with Isaac, correct? Or not Isaac. Well, yeah, Isaac and Xavier.
Right. It was a little vague on what you guys were going to do when you met back up. Most of the planning was how to do it.
So then they're just gonna want to go back to the station.
Correct. Yeah. All you know is that you're supposed to take a transport back to the Transgalactic Cruise Line station.
So then there's no need because I'm going to be coming back, right? In their mind.
Okay, I was gonna say, are you asking me? Because
No.
I can't tell you that. Okay, so you guys board a transport and you get up to the Transgalactic Cruise Lines without much trouble. And we can go ahead and say that you guys meet back at the. Would you want to meet at the Second Chance or?
Kid's just following at this point.
Yes, let's meet at the ship.
All right, Kid. When you get to the hangar bay, you see a large ship called. I don't know if you'd know ship names, but it's a very sleek-looking vessel. It looks very fast. It is also painted bright sky blue, and it has a large antenna on the top of the ship where the cockpit is. And you can see that the paint job down the neck of the ship, if you want to call it that, has like what looks like a white flowing mane. And the antenna is painted more like a unicorn horn. And the engines of the ship to either side are painted like wings. It looks like a giant blue Pegasus.
This was not my idea.
That's fantastic.
Right?
Well, I'm glad someone likes it.
Okay. Kid's just kind of like bouncing in anticipation, just like, okay, it's time to get this over with. It's time to get this over with.
And you would be obviously welcome to board the Second Chance, which let me go ahead and throw you guys. You guys haven't been on your ship layout in a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In a while.
All right.
Here she is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Second Chance. You interrupt. Hang on a second. You interrupt through the cargo bay, which is right here in this area.
Yes.
And you see up above you a catwalk that goes to several rooms, and stairways that go up towards the cockpit.
Okay. Is everyone in the what's it? The
Obviously
entryway?
Cyber 6 and Lucas would be with you. I don't know where Isaac and Xavier would be, and Hart is nowhere to be seen. But you hear soft snoring coming from the hallway.
Well, my spotty sense tells me she's probably in the hallway.
Kid is going to look around and kind of crane their neck and go, Seth, done. Can I go home?
Funny thing about that, Xavier would say as he emerges from the smuggler's lounge.
Kid's gonna narrow their eyes and go, okay.
Seth's kind of washed his hands from us, like, permanently. Like, to use our lingo, he's gone dark. He's off the grid. We can't communicate with him. He's gone.
Kid's ears immediately go flat and goes, but I can go back. Yes.
Xavier gives a bit of a smile. He says, you could go back. We wouldn't stop you from going back. But do you recognize his face? As Xavier will say, hey, Isaac, come on out.
Isaac comes out in his cowboy attire and goes, what's up? What do you need?
From certain broadcasts that are playing nonstop on Center while you were probably still there.
Yes, Kid, you would know that, like he said, almost nonstop on every TV that you pass, the Spagorth are plastering several faces, one of them being Isaac's face, and offering a large bounty, calling them enemies of the Empire.
So, Xavier says, how about I offer you a counter proposal? How'd you like a job?
I
Like a
have a job.
How would you like a better job? What's your job now?
I get stuff, and I get food, and shelter, and a teacher. They kind of like do a somewhat like there's a verbal air quotes around teacher, like this has been told to them on many occasions.
Okay, all right. So let's up the ante a little bit, Xavier says. We can offer you food. We can offer you shelter. We can offer you protection. And instead of having one teacher, you'd have, and Xavier does a good count, 5 of them. And the teachers know all sorts of things, from magic to gunplay to smuggling to mechanics, all sorts of stuff. And these particular people, your teachers, are very rich. And Xavier says, and they go on really fun adventures. And you just stole a device from the Spagorth that lets us go through time, so you can go through time. Also, you probably wanted to buy the Spagorth now, too?
Mhm.
Xavier's going to try and lowball that last one. I want to do a charm check on Kid. I succeed by 5, but the modifiers might not be good.
Plus, he's a PC. I will point out at one point when Xavier's kind of like counting and looking around, saying lots of teachers to do lots of things and listing them off. You do hear Sarah kind of say quietly, "Customer service."
Oh, customer service. Xavier says, thank you, Sarah. Hotel management.
Not
You see
anymore.
on the staircase Lucas's head with his usual like flowered hood peek around the corner with the like widest like like a scared animal around the corner.
And Lucas. He can teach you how to Lucas. No one Lucas is like Lucas. Plus, yeah. Tell you what. Since we're all kind of in this bind together, how about we go through time a little bit, or at least someplace that isn't center, and if there's any point where you want us to drop us off, feel free. Now, we could leave you and have you go to a shuttle back to center, but I don't know if you'll find Seth again, because since he knows who we are and that he did a job for the Spagorth, he might cut ties with you too, you know? Like, so he can deny knowledge on anything. You know? Seth's a good guy, but he tends to get really dramatic when it comes to protecting his own ass, which is probably why he's as good as he is. Besides, and Xavier paused for a little bit. Lucas, you had fun. Apparently, he went with you, right?
Lucas actually like stops his like dead man stare of like it looks like he just had the widest eyes just peeking around the corner. And he stops the routine, jumps up to the stairs, and he's like, I was wondering when you'd be worried about me.
Well, considering you didn't help us when someone tried to kill Isaac, I had to assume that you either ran off someplace or... Well, I heard you over the radio, so I figured you were with Cyber 6.
This whole time, Kid's just kind of been like staring at you with
See, I'm terrified that you're gonna kill me. 'Cause you're like a really tiny fuzzy ball of rage right now, trying to calm you down, trying to make you happy.
Are you saying this out loud or?
No, that's internal monologue.
Okay.
Internal monologue. I'm not
All right,
saying. I'm
yeah,
not calling you a little
this-
furry ball of rage.
I mean, yeah. Kid has. It's not like an angry stare. It's just like a very deep contemplation, and it's. They kind of like look around and then go, "But my stuff."
Well, we can get you new stuff, Xavier says. I mean, we could drop you off. And he pauses for a moment and goes, no, that's too much of a risk. Well, tell you what. We'll get you new stuff. I will personally pay for your new stuff. Me. Myself. Only me.
Okay.
But think about this. Remember how you were a 16?
A 17.
You know?
17.
Oh, sorry, a 17? Yeah, sorry, thank you. You know how you were 17? Did you hang around a bunch of other 17s? No. Everyone on center is like what? Between like a 1 and a 10 mostly. Maybe there's a couple 12s. Maybe a 15, 1 in a million, right? But all of us here, we're all 17s. So, I'm good company. You seem pretty reasonable. You clearly have incredible skill because you acquired what we needed you to acquire.
Cyber 6 would nod and he'd say, I can attest to that.
Oh, see, there you go.
That was my job. I
Sure.
do my job.
Great, yeah, I want to hire you. We want to hire you, Xavier says. So what do you think? What do you say? Great job, great pay, good food and shelter and protection and adventure of a lifetime. In exchange for what? Doing the same thing on center? Just going back to your stuff? Robbing for food and shit? That doesn't seem fun.
Kid takes another look around the ship and then at everyone and kind of looks down at the little wiggling jelly in a mason.
Frill.
Oh, that's cute.
Frill. Yes. And then goes, and then like walks up and over to you.
Oh yeah, sorry. I would have been closer. I wouldn't have been yelling all that
Like
way.
around here.
I just can't move my token.
Oh.
Squee, God won't let me touch my token.
Xavier's been bad.
God, I can't touch
So anyway,
myself.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
You should be good.
head on over to me. Yeah.
You should be good.
Yeah, and they sort of shuffle the jar into one hand and stick out their other.
And Xavier will give a smile. This one a little bit sweeter, more genuine. As he reaches out, he goes, "We're shaking. We're shaking now. We're shaking now. We're having a deal." As he shakes your little furry paw. Clawed hand. Wait, you got claws. You have big ass claws.
Yeah, big ass claws.
It's as firm as it was before and lasts slightly too long.
Okay. Xavier will look down at that and be like, and he's gonna look at the jelly thing. And he's gonna say, "Is that the thing that was hurt?"
Yes.
Oh, is it doing better?
Yes. With more of a question mark.
Xavier and Lucas actually too. Since you have, if you want to roll a knowledge
Yes,
check,
I want to know what this intergalactic jelly bean is. I don't know what this intergalactic jelly bean is. I failed by a lot.
Never seen anything like that before. I'm sorry. What?
I said, give me 2 shakes of a stick.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Lucas. It took a little while. Maybe the doctor, when it called it a frill, that tickled your memory and slowly been coming back, and then suddenly you realize frills are very rare life forms that are perfect shapeshifters. They are known for being able to change shape into a variety of different things that are. They can't change their volume, so they can't, like, for example, copy you because they just don't have enough mass. But they can copy. They could turn themselves into an almost perfect replica of you of a smaller size. Or they're also famous for being able to take shape of objects. And when they transform like this, they transform into such a perfect copy, if they have the ability to, that even their DNA can match a target. They are almost indistinguishable from whatever shape they take.
Fancy.
They are incredibly rare, so rare that like I said, it took you a while, even after you heard the name, to connect that to the species.
Huh. Neat. I don't know this, but neat.
Lucas go, the legend of the frill.
Xavier's going to assume he's talking nonsense again or starting one of his goddamn poems. And he's just going to look to Kid, and he'll say, okay, well, since you're on board, you're a part of, our group. We've hired you on for the time being. Xavier will say, since we're here in the hallway, we'll have your choice of room. Xavier will open up the empty room. He'll be like, this isn't much. This is kind of pretty sparse. But our old crewmate, Talavac, who had to leave due to a personal vendetta against a certain race, said that he's taken all of his personal effects, but I think his room is still because all of his, he would have taken all his personal effects, right? But how about the vines are growing everywhere?
He was actually very thorough in the sense that he took all the vines. Like, when you found the room, the only thing in it was the empty bunk and the note and the credit chip.
Oh, okay. Xavier will open up and be like, this one just has a little bit more space. See, Xavier will say,
Kid immediately starts walking to the room.
Okay, and Xavier will be like, okay, just one other thing you should know. That room is directly next to Lucas. So don't say I didn't warn you. Xavier's gonna head back down.
Kid's gonna pause and then run back out and go, seaweed.
Seaweed.
Seaweed, and they're gonna lift up the mason jar and goes, it needs seaweed.
You have two mouths to feed now.
Okay, so you got your seaweed. Oh yeah, that reminds us.
Let me grab some. I think we have some in the fish tanks.
We have fish tanks?
Yeah.
As you say that, the Heart's door opens, and a very sleepy Heart, like rubbing her eyes, walks out going, what's everyone talking about? Why are they making so much noise?
We have a new crewmate, Heart.
Heart looks up, bleary-eyed, looks around, sees Kid. Her eyes grow incredibly wide. She goes, and she rushes past Xavier.
Oh god!
Kid falls on her knees and envelops Kid.
Yeah, okay, that's Heart.
Kid goes rimrod straight, just
Xavier,
Heart starts petting Kid's head, going, "You're so fluffy."
Oh my God, Heart's gonna lose her hand.
Yes. Yes, you do seem very fluffy, but Heart, maybe a bit more personal space for our new crewmate.
Heart, not understanding, shakes her head. She goes, "No, I'm fine."
You know what? It's funny. This is Lucas saying this, so you know it's serious.
Lucas is currently pushing on Heart to get her away from him.
Because Lucas saw her literally smash a dude's head through his chest, right?
Yeah.
So this is why Lucas is doing this.
Pretty much.
Hart will obviously go back with a pouty face. And then, but as she goes, as Lucas is pulling her back, she's like barraging Kid with questions. Do you brush it? How do you? What kind of shampoo do you use? Do you like to be petted?
Kid's just frowning intensely at her, just like they're very dazed, not quite sure what just happened, and very, very frazzled. It's very clear that they have no idea how to react, so they're just kind of standing there staring at her like, what?
I should also point out that Hart, what you see is a teenage girl, maybe 17, with pigtails, like long brown hair done up in pigtails. She wears overalls, and she is completely covered in grease that she obtained while making that device that you were using. So she's got like grease streaks on her cheeks, and her coveralls aren't the cleanest.
And that's on me now.
A little bit.
Kid's just going to sort of like take a small step back and go, and then like go past and around her, like along the wall, just kind of like and go to where Xavier and Isaac went, going, seaweed.
Seaweed here.
Hart's gone limp in Lucas's hands, but her eyes full of sparkles follow Kid.
Lucas leans down. I don't really know the mood of this one, but I can tell you she can rip through the walls of this ship. Try to ask before touching next time.
She looks up at Lucas, and she stands up and she brushes off her coveralls, and she says, like, so cute.
I know. Lucas, like,
as long as I'm not the only one that thinks that.
He has his like fingers like worming. He's like, I want, but I can't.
Okay. So should I describe this Starluck Lounge? Because if I recall correctly, it should be done. Right, Squee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first off, when you enter the room, you will see that the floor is lined with really soft plush shag carpeting in a darker color. On this wall, the entirety of this wall is taken up by a bar and several bottles of liquor. There's also, along this side, kind of flanking a door, 2 fish tanks. Along this wall is a giant flat-screen television. In the middle of the room, there are several lazy boy chairs. And dotting the rest of the room is plants.
How tall is the fish tank? Like, is it considerably high, or is it just like the full wall, or what?
It's mostly the wall. I can have Isaac kind of hoist you up if you want. Isaac is 6 feet 4 inches.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's fucking tall.
Kids just kind of gonna like smoosh their nose up against the glass, just like, how do I get it?
Here, and he's going to go up on tippy toes to try and, reach into the tank and pull out a dab of seaweed and then kind of hold it out for her. For it.
Kid will take the seaweed and kind of like put it over and then into the mason jar, like not quite sure how to feed it, but just like, here, this is what you need. The person said so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what you could also do is release it into one of the fish tanks.
Kid looks mildly offended, but then considered.
It's just a suggestion. I'm not sure if he'll eat our fish, but...
Kid, you notice that it seems to be shying away from the water in the bowl. And Lucas, you succeeded in the roll. I don't know if you would hear this, but you would know that they used to be aquatic creatures. They are not anymore.
Person in the room, not the water. Doesn't do well in water. Like if you were in water, but worse.
Oh, never mind then.
Kid's
Well-
gonna look at not Lucas, Isaac suspiciously, just like a kid that's just like, you tried to make me kill my toy, and then takes off back to their room with seaweed and mason jar full of jelly and toll or frill.
All right. Oh, shit. So where is Hart?
You actually see Hart, who, believe it or not, I've never actually made a token for.
Yeah, you haven't.
I know, right? Talking to Cyber 6 as Cyber 6 is giving her the AAG.
Oh, so this isn't hard.
That's Indigo.
That's Indigo.
Oh, okay.
Who has been
That's
quietly
another one of the
sitting on the
Corsairs.
railing with, like, Indigo and Sarah have been sitting next to each other with their feet dangling off the railing, which I also need to make a token for Sarah. Yeah, so they you guys would have noticed too, especially when you got back to the ship. Indigo and Sarah actually spend quite a bit of time together, talking, and they seem to get along very well.
So Hart.
Yes.
Are you gonna need my help on this one? Because I'm kind of tired still.
She looks at the device that she's holding, and she looks up and she goes, "Oh, boss, I'm not even sure I can do this. I think it's way beyond your level."
So is that a yes or no? Can I go to sleep?
She nods her head and she goes, yeah. You'd probably just get in the way," she says sweetly.
Ooh, ow! That hurts. He's gonna
What?
say as he walks.
She's looking
over.
at the AAG.
Damn, and he's gonna go into his room.
Oh, I should also mention, has Isaac's door been open or closed until now? Okay. Kid, when you pass Isaac's room, you see a cybernetic horse in there, even though the room seems a bit too small. It's a very cramped space, but there is a cybernetic horse in his room.
Okay.
Just pointing out what you see.
You'll probably hear it down the hall. Why are you in here again? I keep making your bed out in the cargo area.
But the TV in here is bigger. I wanted to watch Wishbone.
Fine. Just scoot over, okay? Jesus.
And with that, Hart will get to work installing the AAG in the engine room. She tells everyone that it's probably going to take at least a day or two to get it installed. It doesn't need to be coupled with the PPE battery. It is compatible enough that she can rig the ship to use it. and that you don't have to be on any station or anything. You could be out in space. She has all the supplies she needs to do it.
All right.
It's just going to take time.
Okay. Well, Inferno disappeared.
All right.
So I think the appropriate action would be to disembark.
Yes, I think this is a good place to stop the session.
I'm kind of thinking of disembarking and going somewhere and then ending the session.
Oh! I thought you meant
like ending out in space.
Yeah. I
the
understand.
Dark side of a moon somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, you already paid your docking fee, so you can dock and undock unhindered.
Yeah, because I know that Inferno didn't want to be around here by 8 a.m. the following morning.
Right. For some reason.
You know the reason.
Oh, I forgot to ask before he left if either of you are still wearing your badges.
I still have it.
Okay, then Lucas and Kid, for some reason Isaac's wearing a somewhat dull-looking golden badge.
Kid neither notices nor cares.
I understand.
Wow! Damn!
Kid, you do hear a rap on the door.
What?
Is it opened or closed at this point?
It's kind of cracked, not really closed. And they're just kind of sitting on the floor with the mason jar in front of them, watching as the frill eats or doesn't.
It is eating like a I don't know what creature I'm thinking of, but basically it munches tiny fast bites. So it's like no, wait, that's too close to Mims. It very takes small bites very quickly, like a chipmunk or a squirrel.
Okay.
This is Lucas. Lucas peeks into the doorway and then pushes it open, and he goes, "Welcome to the..." He's gonna say party. And I was like, no. "Welcome to the crew!" As he, he's two-fisting some, party poppers and, sets them both off. Confetti goes everywhere.
Kid's eyes just go, wide, what is this? Just, scrambles away and grabs the mason jar. It's like, what the hell is that?
He also has a roll-out party horn and a party hat on his head.
Kid, is there any sheets or pillows on the bed?
Yes, actually, it has, well, this is the crew of the Second Chance. I would think, and correct me, guys, you would have pretty decent sheets and blankets on all the beds. Pretty comfy. 500 thread count or higher.
Okay, Kid's going to grab the sheet and throw it at Lucas.
To answer Squee's question, I would think so, because we are multimillionaires.
You don't say.
It
Show
depends
off,
on how.
why don't ya?
Depends on how fast this is going. If it feels like it's gonna hurt, it's probably gonna move.
She may be a mega damaged creature, but she's throwing a sheet. I don't think it would hurt you even if she wanted it to.
The most it's going to do is just kind of flop on top of you.
He's going to allow this to flop on top of him. And then from underneath the sheet, you just see the front of it, where his head is, kind of stick out a bit. And he scurries up the sheet a little bit and has one of those conal party hats, very colorful. You want a hat?
No.
Want your sheet back?
Kid kind of like inches forward and then snatches the sheet back and then shuts the door.
Lucas, you'll notice Sarah standing behind you, and she'll say, "They seem friendly."
Very.
She looks at Lucas and like pats you on the cheek and says, "Sometimes I don't think you understand what sarcasm is."
No, I understand it way too. I understand it way too well.
Joke on the horse. She'll shake her head and she'll say, "Well, you guys know what you're doing."
As Lucas goes back into his room. He like ducks his head out. It's just like, I do magic studies, fairly boring, but if you ever want to hang out, feel free.
Yeah, I think I could do that. And we'll just go narrative, but we'll say Sarah spends time with Lucas in the room. Not like they're not to that level yet, but they spend time. They talk.
What he does is generally like explain, talk, have any particular friendly conversations, but most of the time when he's actually doing magic studies, he's doing general arm motions, fairly odd noises every once in a while, but most of them actually do sound semi-serious. And every once in a while he adds like a new symbol or some other like scratchings of crayon onto a scroll.
While you're studying, after you guys talk, you'll find that for whatever reason, Sarah hangs around and she'll either peruse your web on the wall or lay back against your bunk. You know, she basically is just being near you.
Right.
I think eventually she'd probably settle down with a book or something.
Well, if you're feeling bored, I've been trying to get new ideas for that. He points over to the web.
Okay, actually, with that, she'll spend most of her time studying the web and taking notes.
Good. He'll also like go over to the web and go like, after a while, after she studied most of it, he goes, "We don't need this anymore," and like tears down a good half of it and then walks back.
She goes, and she looks down to her notepad and then shrugs.
That was for getting a guitar. I already got the guitar, as he points to it over on the side of the room.
Oh, okay, because I thought that part of the web was leading nowhere.
No, that's that part. It's still up there.
All right, half your wall is clear now. Isaac is asleep. Hart's installing the device. Cyber 6 and Indigo are doing something. And safe to say we call that a session?
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
All right.
We did disembark, though, right?
Yes, you guys are in deep space. I would assume, well, I'm not going to assume. Do you guys as a crew, do you want to go like away from civilization, just out into the deep space or whatnot?
I kind of do.
Okay.
And just like sit out in a nebula or something?
Yeah, Cyber 6 would let you know that you can go anywhere you want. Once the AAG is working, he'll be able to radio back to Zebron and have them open up a wormhole wherever you are. So,
cool.
Feel free to go anywhere.
And Nebula sounds fantastic.
All right, then. So, a Nebula. It is. And then we'll end the session there.
Woo!
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.